All right, Michelle Obama has agreed to campaign for Kamala Harris.
Welcome to Middleway News. We provide the latest news highlights and summaries each day to give you a quick snapshot of what's happening today and why.
So Michelle Obama, wife of Barack Hussein Obama, former president, stands in Kalamazoo, Michigan at a rally for Kamala Harris. Everything she says is filled with so many lies.
That's why I'm here today. And y'all know I hate politics. But I hate to see folks taken advantage of even more. I'm deeply concerned that too many of us are still confused and buying into the lies and distortions from people who do not have our best interest at heart. There are folks who say they're not sure about Kamala.
She says that the lie is that we do not know who Kamala is or what she stands for. She says Kamala comes prepared. Kamala has policies. Kamala has this. Everything she says is a complete lie. Where? Show me. Show me how this woman, Kamala Harris, is inspiring. She's unable to answer not even one question.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Kamala can't win, and even Bill Maher is worried.
Trump has a coalition of voters made up of A, people who really do like him, and B, people who think with all of his flaws, he's still better than far-left insanity. And the voters' big doubt about Kamala is, are you part of far-left insanity?
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
What the hell are you doing? You're supporting the most radical nominee in the history of American politics. The Green New Deal, Medicare for all. She was the last person in the room before Biden decided to withdraw from Afghanistan. She was the border czar. She cast the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act that gives you high prices. You're trying to convince me that Donald Trump's rhetoric is the danger to this country. The danger to this country is the policies of Biden and Harris. Her fingerprints are all over this disaster, and I can't take 4 more years of this crap.
All right.
When you support her, you're supporting 4 more years of garbage policy. All the questions have been about Donald Trump's rhetoric. They haven't been about how do we make America safe and prosperous again. They have no plan. President Trump does.
So we have Michelle Obama. She is campaigning for Kamala Harris. And of course, Michelle Obama is an elitist. She is very, very wealthy.
They accuse her of not providing enough policy detail. Some wonder, do we really know her? Is she too aggressive? Is she not aggressive enough? There are folks sowing seeds of doubt about whether she's who she appears to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Voters have every right to ask hard questions of any candidate seeking office.
Feel me?
If you could describe Trump in one word, how would you describe him?
Bold. He just be speaking his mind.
Bold.
Bold.
And if you could describe Kamala in one word, how would you describe her?
I feel like she cheesy as hell. She cheesy, like corny. I feel like I don't know her personally, but just off of like interviews I seen with her, like little clips online, just cheesy, corny.
Let's look at some of the lies of Kamala Harris. Michelle Obama. She says, I came here to Michigan because I'm someone who takes my own advice to heart. And I know that if I want to help this country turn the page on politics of hatred and division, Michelle Obama, Kamala, and Biden are trying to censor our free speech. That causes hatred and division. The fact that we know what you're trying to do to our country to destroy it by allowing illegal criminals into our country and by increasing inflation and increasing grocery prices. You can't hide the facts. Your voodoo hocus pocus speech may seem inspiring to some, but many Americans see through you. It's reprehensible.
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. I hope that you'll forgive me if I'm a little angry that we are indifferent to his erratic behavior, his obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse, all of this while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all.
Question of the year, Trump or Harris?
Harris.
And why?
She doesn't have a clue what she's talking about most of the time. Most of the time she sounds like an idiot. I'm not gonna lie.
Harris would be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And it's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
So I'm asking you one last time. Let us not just sit around and complain. Let's do something. Taking on the big banks, the transnational gangs and predatory for-profit colleges, and always doing it, holding her head high with warmth and dignity and class. So Michigan, do not buy into the lie that we do not know who Kamala is or what she stands for. This is someone who understands you, all of you, someone from a middle-class family raised mostly by her mom, like so many of us, leaning on her neighbors like we all do. That's what you want in a president.
Hey everybody, it's good to be with you this evening. Sean, I want to thank you because you always have a way of convening and bringing folks together. And
I grew up a middle-class kid.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Someone from a middle-class family.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Someone from a middle-class family.
Your entire speech is filled with lies. You lie to the American people, just like your husband lied to the American people, and just like Kamala Harris lies to the American people. The one thing you, Michelle Obama, have, and your husband has, is at least you do have some charisma, it seems. Kamala doesn't have that. I'm sorry to tell you. She is not prepared. She is unfocused. She's unintelligent. She can't answer questions. She has a disgusting cackle. People don't like her. Let's see what else Michelle Obama has to say.
Someone who gets you and will have your back. And I know good people.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump.
I'll tell you what a fact is. Her follow-up book to The Truths We Hold better be called The Mother Effing Audacity. This woman lies and feels nothing.
If we want to usher in the next generation of American leadership, if we want to elect someone with a character that is worthy of the Oval Office, how is her character worthy of the Oval Office? She dated Willie Brown. What character does this woman have? She has no identity. She flip-flops left and right. She doesn't stand on one particular issue.
Let me tell you something, and I want to be clear, in case I haven't been clear in the past, all right? On day one, my administration is going to ensure free food for everyone. On day one, clean drinking water. On day one, free housing for up to 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, on day one, everything that you can possibly imagine and you need goes to all illegal migrants. Now, As for the American citizens, well, they get abortion as promised.
She says if you know Kamala like she does, it's no surprise that we could have predicted the way everything unfolded. No, it is a surprise. You didn't have a democratic process to elect a strong leader in the Democratic Party. Trump went through his party's nomination. That's democracy. What you and your candidates did is lie to the American people, even though President Biden was mentally declined. Kamala lied to us constantly, and you didn't care, and you still lie. And if that lie doesn't work, you'll come up with another lie. So don't give me that crap.
Someone from a middle-class family raised mostly by her mom, like so many of us, leaning on her neighbors like we all do. That's what you want in a president.
Asking a question that's on a lot of people's mind. She keeps saying what she's going to do when she's in office. And the thing is Kamala Harris is in office right now. So how can you do that? It's incredible to me. It's that people are falling for this. Like, I'm going to do this when you're in office right now. Take it away, Bret Bair.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about.
You said Kamala has stepped up to the plate with a remarkable campaign and record timing. She's not ducking interviews. Lady, when Kamala first was involved, she was so afraid to give interviews. She couldn't talk to anyone. She had to bring her support, Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, to the interview to just comfort her. She can't handle anything. Everything's a word salad. She's doing it all with vigor and grace. No, she is not. Lord knows we need a grown-up in the White House. That's exactly right. We need Donald J. Trump in the White House, someone who's a strong leader and cares about making our country great again, not someone who wants to destroy our country by bringing us into useless and needless wars, causing destruction, causing our men and women to be killed overseas, destroying our country, spending wastefully. We don't need that. We don't want to turn our country into Cuba. You do, your husband does, and Kamala Harris does, and the deep state, because you're all puppets. And so you puppets want to do this. You elitists want to do this. You want to maintain power. You want to destroy our country. You want to destroy our values. But we're on to you, Michelle Obama. We need someone with fresh ideas. Fresh ideas? What ideas does this woman have? Kamala has no ideas. She copies Trump. She copies this. She copies that. She's for fracking. She's against fracking. I mean, she wants transgender surgeries for inmates. Our tax dollars got to pay for transgender surgeries for inmates, for prisoners. This is where our money needs to go. Not for the poor, not for the elderly, not for people who are suffering.
Thank you for watching the Middleway News Daily Update.
Thank you for experiencing today's Middleway News Daily Update. We hope you enjoyed today's top news highlights and summaries. Be sure to check out our other Middleway News services, products, summaries, updates, videos, podcasts, and more.